Well, mark your calendar, as today is exactly 100 days until the midterm elections in November. You know, there's plenty of potential for heavy turnover in both the House and the Senate. Let's take a look at the latest Fox News opinion dynamic poll. Take a look. 43% of Americans think the country would be better off if Republicans win control of the Congress in November. That's compared to 36% for the Democrats. Does this mean that Democratic control is in danger? Joining us now is Republican Congressman Thaddeus McCotter of Michigan. He's chairman of the Republican House Policy Committee, and Democratic Congressman Elliot Engel here from New York, who's a member of the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Congressman McCotter and Engel, welcome to Fox News this Sunday morning.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, Congressman McCotter, let me start with you. The Republicans need 39 seats, pick up 39 seats to gain control of the House. Do you think they can do it?
I think it's possible, but I think one of the things the Republican Party has to guard against is a sense of overconfidence. That's the surest way to make that prediction not come true. We have to earn the public's trust every day to be a majority again, and to take our eye off the ball and start measuring the drapes would be a complete mistake.
How can they do that?
I think they have to remember who they work for, the sovereign American people. They have to understand the American people are going through a very difficult time. It's a volatile mood in the country. And I think that we have to make sure that people understand that we understand what they're going through, we empathize with it, and every day we're going to try to address it.
And do you think the Republicans have been doing that sufficiently from your point of view or not?
I think that that's not something for me to opine upon. It's something that people are going to determine, and they'll issue their final verdict in November.
Congressman Engel, you heard what Thaddeus McCotter says. Do you think the Democrats will hold true in November?
Well, I think the Democrats will definitely keep the majority. I think it's likely the Democrats lose some seats. The party is that's in control generally in the off year loses some seats, but I don't think it'll be enough to lose control of the House. Frankly, I think the Republican Party has to decide what it stands for, because as far as I'm concerned, they've just been the party of no. They've said no to everything that the Democrats have put forward. They claim that they're the party of small government and fiscal responsibility. But when they were in control of both the Congress and the presidency for 6 long years, they were not fiscally responsible, and they grew government. When Bill Clinton left office, we had the largest surpluses in American history, and under 8 years of George Bush, we went to the largest deficits in American history. So I think the Republican Party has got to say what it stands for.
Well, we have like a $1.5 trillion budget deficit now. I mean, you've got Thad McCotter, chairman of the House Policy Committee. That's one of the intellectual brains of the Republican Party right there. I mean, Congressman McCotter, are you the party of no?
Well, I think, Elliot, it's fascinating because they keep talking about how the Democratic Party wants to go forward, but all they do is look backwards. And I think it's actually appropriate because they're not taking us forward into a new future. They're taking us backwards to the 1970s. The Democratic Party seems to believe that our prosperity comes from the growth of government and bureaucracy, where we understand that our prosperity comes from the growth of liberty and self-government. I'll be happy to give Elliot a copy of our stimulus alternative to the president's plan. I'll give him a copy of our health care proposals. We can give him a copy of our all-of-the-above energy strategy and a copy of We the People, Wide Awake for Our Newest Birth of Freedom, which you can get at the Republican House Policy Committee.
Oh, what about that, Congressman? I mean, Elliot Engel, that could be the debate. We're talking about the Bush tax cuts, keep them or let them out. The economy seems to be number one.
Well, the economy is number one, and it should be number one, and we need to be concerned with the economy. People are hurting out there. But, let's see who got us into this economic mess in the first place. It was the Republican policies. Barack Obama cannot be expected to clean up in a year and a half the mess it took George Bush and the Republicans to make in 8 years. We are suffering because of the failed Republican policies, the lack of fiscal discipline, the not balancing your budget, huge entitlements. We have prescription drugs which were unfunded.
But President Obama's the guy in the White House. And let's take a look at some polls. I mean, some shocking polls this week showed that Bill Clinton is more popular than the president right now. And the Quinnipiac poll showed by 39 to 36%, an unnamed Republican would beat President Obama if the election was held right now.
Yeah, but
what do you think, Congressman?
Well, I think the same poll showed Ronald Reagan in trouble after his first term. I think that it showed George Bush in trouble after his first term. I think polls have a way of going back and forth. Look, people are hurting out there, and we need to come together And Thad knows, Thad and I are friends, that I have always reached across to the other side of the aisle to try to work. I think that there are good ideas, frankly, on both sides of the aisle. But I think for the Republicans to kind of say, you know, we're the guys who got this country into economic a mess, and now, you know, vote us back, we're going to be the ones to get you out of there, I think that's a bit disingenuous. And I also think that the Republicans, frankly, are going to have trouble with the Tea Party. I mean, you saw in New York, just before you showed, that conservatives are being challenged by other conservatives. And I think that what happens with the Tea Party, it's a double-edged sword for the Republican Party, because they force the Republicans to nominate, frankly, the most radical candidates, and those candidates can't win elections in November. So I think that there's lots of things that come into play. And I think, let's remember, polls are one thing, but this is something that's done race by race by race by race,
Right,
individual races. And I think Democrats will do fine. We'll lose some seats, but we'll keep control.
All right, lose some seats. That is McCotter. Last word. Are you being disingenuous?
No, Elliot and I are friends, as he said, but look, the reality is this. It's the left wing of the Democratic Party that's running the Congress. Their radical job-killing policies have failed in the 70s. They're failing today. And when the American people make their sovereign determination, if the Republican Party continues to work hard and earn their trust, I think we have a chance to get a majority. And for the next 100 days, people like Elliot and I will be on TV discussing it and then trying not to say horrible things about each other on the air too much.
All right, Thaddeus McCotter, Elliot Engel. I guess it proves that Harry Truman was wrong. If you want a friend in Washington, buy a dog. I guess that's, in this case, not the case. Gentlemen, thanks so much.
Thank you.